Climate is the average condition of the weather at a place over a period of years as exhibited by temperature, wind, velocity. However, it is quite difficult to define organizational climate incorporating the characteristics of natural climate. We are discussing organizational climate. The concept of organizational climate was formally introduced by the human relationists in the late 1940s. Now it has become a very useful metaphor for thinking about and describing the social systems. Organizational climate is also referred to as the situational determinants and environmental determinants which affect the human behavior. Organizations are social systems. Organizations combine science and people, technology and humanity. It's not possible for every organization to have the same type of technology and people. And so the organizations differ in their characteristics and internal environment. Organizational climate is the process of quantifying the culture of an organization, and it precedes the notion of organizational culture. It's a set of properties of the work environment perceived directly or indirectly by the employees that is assumed to be a major force in influencing employee behavior. People have defined organizational climate on the basis of potential properties. The climate of an organization is somewhat like the personality of a person, which is never same, which keeps on changing, the core remaining the same. Just as every individual has a personality that makes him unique and different from other persons, each organization has an organizational climate that clearly distinguishes it from other organizations. Basically, the organizational climate reflects a person's perception of the organization to which he or she belongs. It's a set of unique characteristics and features that are perceived by the employees about their organizations, which serves as a major force in influencing their behavior. So, an organizational climate in a broad sense can be understood as the social setting of the organization. According to Forehand and Gilmer, organizational climate consists of a set of characteristics that describes an organization, distinguishes it from other organizations. Organizational climate is relatively enduring over time, and it influences the behavior of the people in it. According to Campbell, organizational climate can be defined as a set of attributes specific to a particular organization that may be induced from the way the organization deals with its members and their environment. For the individual members of the organization, climate takes the form of a set of attitudes and experiences which describe the organization in terms of both the static characteristics and the behavior outcome and outcome contingencies. Generally speaking, organizational climate can be seen as a set of measurable properties of the perceived work environment directly or indirectly created by individuals who live and work in this environment, and that influences the motivation and behavior of these people. In this definition of organizational climate, we can note two striking features. Number one, the organizational climate is a concept perceived by employees. Importantly, it is dependent on a value judgment which can vary greatly from person to person. And number two, the organizational climate affects productivity, motivation, and employee behavior. So, organizational climate is a relatively enduring quality of the internal environment that is experienced by its members. It influences their behavior and can be described in terms of the value of a particular set of characteristics of the organization. It may be possible to have as many climates as there are people in the organization when considered collectively. The actions of the individuals become more meaningful for viewing the total impact upon the climate and determining the stability of the work environment. The climate should be viewed from a total system perspective. While there may be differences in climates within departments, this will integrate to a certain extent to denote overall organizational climate. Thus, organizational climate is the perceptual environment prevailing in an organization based on which employees do their work. It will have a major impact on the smooth flow in the management of an organization. We'll discuss 6 factors which can affect organizational climate. Number 1, organization structure. Ideas on the extent of organizational constraints, rules, and regulations. Number 2, individual responsibility. Having a sense of autonomy, of being one's own boss. Number 3, rewards. Commensurate rewards to recognize performance. Number 4, risk and risk-taking. The degree of challenge and risk to sustain by the incumbent. Number 5, warmth and support. Feelings of general good fellowship and helpfulness prevailing in the work settings. Number 6, tolerance and conflict. Degree of confidence that the climate can tolerate differing opinions. Now we will discuss the influence of OC, that is organizational climate, on human performance. When the organizational climate is viable, the incumbent gets motivation, and his performance or her performance is up to the expectation of the management. Consequently, he or she gets job satisfaction. Organizational climate provides a type of work environment in which an individual feels satisfied or dissatisfied, since the satisfaction of an individual determines his efficiency or her efficiency. Organizational climate is directly related to performance level in the organization. Organizational climate affects performance, job satisfaction, and attitudes of people in the organization. A sound climate is a long-run proposition. Climate can be taken as an organizational asset. The organizational climate may be one of trust and confidence or one of fear and reprisal. Various organizational climates have different impacts on individual motivation, satisfaction, and attitudes. The climate of an organization derives originally from the philosophy and goals of those who join together to create it. The philosophy and goals of people are implemented by leadership working through the formal and informal organization. Let's conclude our discussion in a nutshell. Organizational climate is a perception of the work environment. Organizational climate is a psychological atmosphere. Organizational climate is a quick picture of the relationship between the organization and its employees. Organizational climate is a set of properties that can be measured by the correct instruments. Organizational climate is related to the quality and suitability of the work environment. Organizational climate has to do with the support that employees feel they receive from the organization. The organizational climate is a reflection of the degree of employee motivation. Organizational climate has positive and negative effects on people's behavior in the workplace. Thank you.